I'm Tom Papa, and my guest today is my friend and your dependable A-list comedian, the one and only Dave Attell.
Sorry, Tom, I was on my phone.
It's okay.
What's up? How are you?
Dave is a nationally known comedian and possibly the most played comedian on this very station, and for good reason. He's an extremely prolific writer, which has made him a mainstay on television, including several HBO specials, Comedy Central specials, every other place that stand-up happens, from Letterman to Leno and all the Conans in between. He has also gained a national audience through his Comedy Central show, Insomniac. Young comedians show up in New York and either want to be Dave or be as good as Dave, and they all fail. He's an original, he's hysterical, he's funny. Dave, when you were our
Can I talk now?
No, hold on a sec. In 1 second.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Tom. I don't know the format.
No, this is good. You're doing well.
Okay.
This is the best one yet.
Go.
Dave, when you're on stage at the Cellar and you're working on a new bit and it clicks and you know that you have a new chunk and you feel all good about yourself, how often do you think, I need to thank Tom when I get off stage?
Well, I'm not going to say you're there, but you're always in the room, like a spirit, like a force, sometimes like a smell, but you're there.
It's good to see you, Dave.
Nice seeing you, and thank you for the accolades.
Yeah, well, I mean that. There's
nothing more boring than reading credits as the guy is sitting right there.
I know, but I kind of like it because when you do it with comedians, everybody talks during the intro, and it makes.
See, if we were figure skaters, we'd be more honored. Right?
Right, exactly. But I think that is kind of a phenomena that people.
That's true.
That people come to New York. Young comics come to New York, and there's. You know, for a while there were a lot of people doing Hedberg, and there was always like these little camps. There's people that are doing Mitch Hedberg or people that are doing Dave Attell. Do you notice it? Because we all notice it.
I can't say. You know, first, are we allowed to use risque language? Okay.
Whatever.
I could really give a shit at this point. I mean, the fact that I'm just able to get on the stage and do new material is really what it's about for me. And you brought it up, like when you come up with a new chunk, that's what it's about. If people sound like other people, that's. You know, we all know that never really works. Nobody goes, hey, I'm looking for a guy who sounds just like Seinfeld. You know, they don't say that. You know?
Right.
I mean, they, originality is what plays, and thank you for that delicious latte.
I think it's a compliment. I don't think the people are actually, I don't think the young guys are trying to even like take anything from you. I just think that you're just people see you coming up with new stuff and you're making everybody laugh. You're making the staff laugh, and you're making the comedians laugh, and it freaks people out. It's like,
not the crowd,
I'm not
though.
that good.
Not the crowd. I gave up on the crowd probably about 3 years ago. Now it's just going for the staff. The security guy, always. You want him always to think you're funny.
That really is true.
It's true.
It really is.
If he's smiling, you're like, he might save me in a really horrible situation that could happen here. But the staff, if you can get a staff at a comedy club to laugh, like the waiters and waitresses, the bar guys,
right,
then you really are doing it right, because they've heard every joke. Probably in that one night they've heard 9 million flying jokes or Bin Laden jokes or whatever.
Right.
When is this air?
Yeah.
Obama,
2013.
Herman Cain, whatever.
Yeah, it's definitely. There's so many guys that get up and start going down the same route. Do you watch guys at all, or do you just show up and do your thing?
The guys that I like to watch are, of course, joke writers. Like, you're always a strong joke writer, so I always like to, I like a guy who can deliver a joke, and you, of course, deliver what we call network-friendly material, and also, some dirtier ditties, if you will. But, writing a clean, good, hard joke is very difficult, and then like performing it after 11 o'clock at night, after people just watch 9 high energy acts, spew filth all over the stage, is really an accomplishment. So I always like to watch you, like Nick Griffin, and then of course the younger guys like a Jay Okerson or Kurt Metzger, Mike Vecchione. I enjoy their spirits. They're a good bunch of lads.
Do you notice that the crowds have been changing lately? Honestly, do you feel that?
You heard it. I think that they're so, like young Monica over here. Look at her. She's bored to tears. Because you know what? That generation, I don't blame them. There's so many options. She wants to get on her app and communicate with her friends on Skype and other things. Cyberbullying. Don't do it. But it's really hard to keep their attention. Do you ever notice that you look out in the crowd and you see people in their eyes almost going like, okay, how do I click out of this guy? There's got to be something funnier, wackier to watch.
Right.
But my eyes aren't clicking. It's not working like it does at home.
2 minutes. Where's the bar?
Yeah.
Where's the bar?
I want to rate it and get out.
It's really lame.
Oh,
but do you think that that's the only part that's or do you think it's also
well,
political correctness is kind of
that sucks too. It's very politically correct. I was just saying this today on another interview because I'm doing a show about porn and
yes.
Everybody's like, porn, boo, watch out.
Right.
And what it is retro porn from the golden age of porn. And I bring out some great comics who you and I both know.
Right.
Whitney Cummings, Chelsea Handler, Jim Norton, Bill Burr,
right.
Adam Carolla, Greg Fitzsimmons, just really funny people. And we kind of roll and rant unscripted on the clips. And then we bring out the legends of the porn. So everybody I'm talking to, they're like, well, is this a statement on, porn? I'm like, no, it's kind of cool to watch this old, hairy, dirty retro porn with the people who made it. Right. I'm not trying to this isn't James Lipton and this isn't, I'm not Dr. Oz trying to show you can love your maid if you don't shave. I mean, it's just a simple, cheap show on Showtime this Thursday, 11:30. But the crowd's grown now at the setup. Like you can go
right.
So I'm walking, I'm walking past this playground. Boo! I didn't even get to the part with the children.
Right. I remember when we were doing.
They boo. They don't even boo. They're like, whatever that yawn.
I remember I've seen you get on the crowd for groaning at the part that you're not even at the worst part of the joke.
Yeah, exactly.
You just wasted your groan.
We just got on the boxcar. We're not even near the death camp. This is the best part of the trip.
Right, exactly.
Well, what do you think? I mean, because you definitely you came up with the younger. I'm older than you in right. comedy years and, of course,
right.
in just dog years, I think. I'm
yeah,
old. I'm 46.
You were like the...
how old are you, Monica?
24.
See, you would be like my third wife if I had made it in show business. Like, when you get in your 50s, you got to have the girl who's in her 20s, and then she's like, oh, he's cool, but he needs a nap.
He's got money,
Gene
but he
Simmons,
sleeps a lot.
All right. She doesn't want to be a part of it.
Would you be with a 46-year-old guy? Just gonna bring him.
No, don't bring me into it. I'm just saying.
No.
Yeah, see, there you go.
No.
Well, but if you're napping, then I'll just go shopping or something.
Shopping. There you go. What a great term for cheating.
See, but I don't see a 46-year-old guy as being that old. It doesn't look that much different from a.
I mean, that's
32-year-old.
It does around the ball sack.
That's 22 years older than me. 24 years older, right? How old am I?
Yeah, it's double you.
Yeah, double me.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of.
Wow. 999. Simple math works.
And Jim Norton already asked me out to dinner, so you might have to fight him for you.
No, I was just saying. It was an analogy, honey. Please. I'm into young boys.
Do you know what Jim Norton means by dinner?
Well, that's what I made it very clear. I was like, I'll go eat with you, but then that's
not
the
on
end.
You.
That's right.
But not on you. Not anything that comes out of you.
Yeah, there you go. Hooray for Monica.
Yay, Monica.
Thank you. I try to have standards.
That was good. And it really sucks that she has that adorable little Narnia voice over the air. Everybody thinks like 24. She sounds like she's like 12.
I know, exactly.
I don't know, Jim Norton. What happened?
I'm going to come on a unicorn.
But yeah, I think that.
But your crowd is pretty young. Don't you feel like you draw a younger crowd?
My crowd from the Insomniac days, now they're in their 30s and 40s, and they bring their wives out, and the wives like, what? This is what you talking about? Because I'm dirtier in person,
right?
Than, you can never be on TV. So
right.
I think it's a little bit shocking, but. That's all the, bitching and moaning. But there are people out there that are still great comedy fans that love, dirty comedy, really smart comedy.
Right.
And these are the people that we have to protect them like baby seals somehow. We have to somehow whale wars, get in Zodiac boats and just keep them away from the idiots that are out there, because there's these some guy will come up to you and ask you a great question Mitch Hedberg did this joke and you're like, oh, wow, that's really cool that a good comic. Or
right.
Robert Schimmel, I know he passed away recently, but he used to do this great joke. And, it's it always is a cool experience.
But do you feel like that's the problem with staying in the clubs, that you always have the element that are there for their birthday parties and their office party or whatever, and then it's almost like the cool fans are kind of the minority almost in those settings?
Well, you built me up too much because I don't think I'm really that good a comic. I mean, I'm good, but I'm not like a good like. I'm not like a great comic. Like there's greats, and then there's me, a guy who knows how to do it. But I like the clubs because I'm a club comic, and I like the situations that happen in clubs, and I like working off those situations. That doesn't mean I want everyone screaming at me, but like. I guess it's just from doing all those late night spots at the Cellar and other places for years and years and longer than Monica's been alive.
Right.
That like it's really a hard habit to kick. And whenever I would do theater stuff, I would always be like, I feel like I'm alone here, even though like there's 1,000 people that way because they're not right on top of me.
Yeah,
and like I can kind of hear them and they might heckle me and I'll have to like kind of like fight the dark, you know?
Right.
Is that the Spider-Man thing? Because it really works for them. But I had to,
rappel out
different.
There
yeah. Like, it's not close quarters the way I like it. I like it,
right.
I like it right on,
right on top of you.
Well, not,
well, not too close.
Yeah. A little,
No, but I get that. I get
stripper,
that.
5 feet rule there.
Right.
But what do you think? You do theaters now, so.
No, I don't do theaters.
You do.
I only if I'm on someone else's coattails.
No, come on. You went from like doing all the clubs all over the country to like theaters, right? Did you feel like?
No, I didn't. I mean, I really didn't have a theater run on my own.
All right. You're holding out for the amphitheater.
I'm going bigger. I'm not going at all.
Now, Monica, if he played an amphitheater, wouldn't that take at least 10 years off his age?
Yes. What does TV do to a guy's age?
TV?
Yeah. If a guy's on TV, that knocks him down how many years off?
Guess,
12?
Maybe like 5.
5?
What if he's in the next Transformer 4D movie?
Are you in that movie?
Now look at that face of disgust.
No.
What if he's the next vampire in the New Moon Twilight? Blah, blah, doo, doo.
Are you stereotyping that I like all these movies?
I'm just.
You're just throwing out.
No, I don't.
I don't know.
Culturally relevant.
What kind of movies do you like? Hooker in a Trunk. What do you like? That's the name of a movie.
What?
Every comic's punchline is now the name of a movie.
I don't know. Girly, happy movies.
Like
I don't want scary movies.
Something that's like Grey's Anatomy but longer. Like
maybe.
But you're watching on a plane.
I guess so.
Okay.
Are you trying to ask me to a movie?
No.
Oh, okay.
I totally listen. First of all, I can't wait to go home and just jerk. Can I say it?
Yeah.
Jerk off. Because this is my midday one, which I do for Mexico, the siesta jerk, which I'm missing to do this show.
Thank you.
For the fans.
Thank you so much.
For the god-darn 999.
Keep it simple.
I was in a cab the other day and it came up to 999 and I got out. So does that make me a racist? Calls. Let's go to the phones. No, go ahead.
I just saw a guy on the subway coming up to do this interview. We're here in New York. And this guy was holding up a sign, a big sign, a lot of words on it. Like, you know, when it gets a little too wordy.
Yeah.
And you're like, I didn't know if he was coming from the Occupy Wall Street. And he just starts going, and there's stuff on it that says India and babies and all this. And he starts saying, in the middle of the car, he starts saying, people in India kill and rape babies. So
in India?
If you see a Hindu, you say, fuck you, Hindu, and spit in their face. That was his message on the subway. Fuck you, Hindu, and spit in their face.
That sounded like every alternative comics joke. Like, where they do it like,
Right.
And then I was walking.
Right.
Oh, this better be a hilarious walking joke. No. It's just
Still
more
nothing.
setup, more setup.
Still nothing.
But no,
what have you, talk to me about that alternative kind of
There's
thing,
no more alternative comedy. So it's
what do you mean?
All comedy is together now.
Oh, really? It's all united.
Yeah, I feel like the alternative comics have already either stopped doing alternative comedy or they've already done movies and films and stuff
And
like
moved
that.
on.
Yeah, like they're all famous or they're like writing scripts and all that kind of stuff. But I don't really hit that scene. I understand there's a lot of good sketch people and that do all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But the kind of comedy that I do, the club comedy, the dirty, filthy, inappropriate comedy, that's dead. I would tell you that right now.
What do you mean?
Over. It's too politically correct out there.
Yeah, but you were just saying that you still bang it out in the clubs, and
I know. Well, I'm the last Mohican, dude. Me and Stanhope, we're gonna tie our ankles together and fight our way.
Do you think it's had an influence on comics, and that they're just not going there anymore? That they're not doing that stuff because it's harder environment to do it?
Well, I think
where other guys would.
No, I keep doing it. I mean,
guys like they're coming up behind us.
Yeah, well, there's some filthy, dirty demons out there that are great, but I would say that the kind of comedy that the younger crowd likes is not that kind of comedy. They want first of all, people want a performance. They don't want what I do, where I'm up there. I'm like, okay, a midget, and I've never seen a midget mail a letter. Why? And then I'll do a joke after it. But they don't want to see the guy figuring it out. They want it all prepared.
I don't know.
And I don't like
that. I think you're. I don't know. I mean, I can't speak. I'm not going to leave. I can't speak from your.
I'll do the interview with you. I mean,
no, but I can't
even
talk
if I suck,
from your perspective. But whenever I watch you, there's the places. There's some nights when you're playing around and going after them or whatever, but crowds and comedians are in awe of your comedy. I was just watching this thing that they did from the Geraldo benefit we did in L.A. And some guy on his cell phone is way in the back rafters and he's filming your set. Yeah, and it was.
I paid that guy.
There was thousands of people there, but those are comedy fans. But I think I don't know. I think that there's the fans really are crazy about you. I don't understand the.
Well, maybe you weren't at the last 2 gigs I were at with the empty rows of seats. But no, Tom, I'm not going to stop doing what I do because I like doing. I really like me. I love doing comedy.
Yeah,
Yeah. And for you guys who have families and everything, I can only imagine what it's like when you have to get out and do these late night spots and then go home to that miserable, horrible existence you have in your house with your kids.
I know.
But no, you're out hanging with the boys, barbershop style, and you're gonna go home, turn off the filth, and what's that, kids? A game of a boggle, or what do kids play again? Monica, what do they do? Angry Birds?
This is how sad my existence is. It's probably.
Well, how many kids do you have?
I have 2.
Okay,
I have 2.
And how many are white?
1.5. And
appropriate.
And it was about before we had kids, we were just living with each other, and I came home with probably 6 or 8. This was VHS porno days. Okay. That you had given me.
Oh, that's right, huh?
You used to come to the club and you used to say, "You're culling the herd."
And yeah, that's right. I did say that.
And you would get rid of your old porn, and we would all scavenge it up.
Wasn't it great?
So I came home with 6 or 8 of them, and my wife made me throw them away.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
she made me throw them all away.
That's like not rescuing a rescue dog. Wow, that's like we showed you a home. Now get back out on the street.
It was so
that is sad.
That is my existence.
But so there you go. That was only just a sampling of my collection. If I had given it to you, that means it had already been used up with me.
Right.
So any porn given away is already this has no effect on me anymore. It's here.
What was funny about it, there was some Japanese anime in it.
Yes.
And I was
way ahead of the curve.
And you were ahead of your time. Yeah, Wait. Japanese anime. You're listening to Come to Papa on Sirius XM 99. I'm here with my good friend Dave Attell. So what do you collect your porn on now if the VHS days are done? Do you
everybody went
the hard
from
stuff?
It's such an amazing circle of life. And I'm not talking about that one movie that we all went to go see and thought, what? Tree of Life. That's the one I was thinking of. Anyway, no.
I thought you saying Lion King.
I went from the VHS, right? VCR, old school. Tape. To DVDs, right?
High tech.
Remember that?
High tech.
And then, of course, the internet, download. And now, since I've done this show, Dave's Old Porn, on Showtime, 11:30 Thursday, if you can help me out. Now, I'm back to magazines. Huh?
What?
Yeah.
No.
To paper, papyrus.
What, you walk into a store and buy magazines now? Why? Because you got all this old style?
Because I had to reboot my dick. All right? Yeah. I had to reboot it because I had already gone full circle, and I was in this weird, I love retro porn now, but then there's all this new great porn, and it was just too much, so I had to reboot.
Did you find that the retro porn is better than the new porn?
Well, it's definitely more, it's just so fun to watch, especially if you grew up, I was young in the 70s.
Right.
I missed the Vietnam War.
Right.
By a few years. Sorry, sir. Sorry, Gunny, over there. Anyway, so it's cool to see what life was like in that early 70s, post-Vietnam.
The women were a little curvier, a little hairier.
Yes, no, they were hairier, and the dudes were out of shape. It's
oh, really?
But every one of them looks like they could throw down like a MMA fighter. Everyone looks like, you just say the word, whatever, America sucks, and they would knock your teeth out if they had teeth.
Fighting with mustaches.
Yes, a lot of stash, a lot of sideburns. Very hairy, no Brazilian wax, none of that. The Jersey Shore, basically.
Do you think that'll come back?
I know. I talked to the young porn stars because we had like some of the young porn stars on the air, Belladonna, Christina Rose, Bobby Starr, and they were like, hair is back in, but not like that. Not like what we're watching right now. Right. They're like, wow. But they found the sex charming because they're so used to the new sex of porn, which is more like abuse. Fish hooking and fisting and donkey punching, and like it looks more like cheaters, like like it's a brawl.
It's like
and back then there's like cuddling. I'm like, look at that cuddling. I don't see that anymore in porn.
Yeah, they're actually nice to each other.
Yeah, like it was for them. They're like, oh, that's amazing. And the other thing was that the retro porn was like a little bit illegal and underground. So you see the guys shooting and they're always like looking around.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're like,
trying not to get arrested.
Yeah. So it was kind of cool.
That is very cool.
And if I can name a few titles that I would suggest to the lovers of porn, because there's probably a guy out there who knows porn way better than me.
No,
they're really,
really
guys like that. Yeah. He right now is doing an episode of Hoarders. Like, don't go in that room. Keep following the smell of the dead cat.
What were some of the great ones?
Ultra Flesh, great.
Ultra Flesh.
Sheila's Payoff, great one. Deep Rub with Paul Thomas and Desiree Cousteau. That's nice. Now that's one for you and your wife.
Really? You think she'd let me keep that one?
Just one for you and your lady would be probably The Ultimate Lover with Nina Hartley and Tracy Adams.
Really?
And Eric Edwards as The Ultimate Lover. It's a Frankenstein takeoff where they build the Ultimate Lover and they, of course, make this magical vibrator, which now looks like a slam chop.
Of course.
In today's time, it would have more apps.
Right.
There you go. I was using my cell voice.
It turned into a Hallmark moment.
It was nice, wasn't it?
It was really nice.
Tom,
and I actually think that my wife would let me keep that one.
No, I bet you like you and your lady, like.
Yeah.
Because I know your wife, but I always forget her name.
Cynthia.
She's great, and she was a funny
comedian
lady herself.
Yeah.
So, like, I bet you when you do get a night away from the kids, you want to do anything but comedy, right? So what do you guys do? Something serious.
It's kind of sad, but a lot of times she watches me do a spot, and then we go do something.
I thought you guys like go like you have like antiquing or something.
No, there's no real activities.
No.
We'll eat something someplace.
Yeah, that's always the.
I've never known you to have a long-term girlfriend.
No, I don't. I don't believe in that.
Really?
I'm actually in love with a cousin, and I believe one day we will have the right to have that love. No,
you're really a
pioneer. I thought I was going to be your third wife.
Hey, listen, you're so out of the picture now.
Yeah.
Right?
Fine.
Step up your game. If you ever want to meet one of the kids in the Decemberists, you better step up your game. I'm trying to name a band. You want to meet Grizzly Bear? Well, step it up.
I still don't know what you're talking about.
These are bands. Don't you? These are the bands of your generation. They're great bands.
She's not alternative.
Kings of Leon.
Okay, I know them.
Oh, yeah,
okay, there you go. Those guys are cool, man, because they're from the South.
Cool.
They're like Southern.
They used to like church.
They're like
preachers.
They're cool, man. I like that. Anyway, no, I guess my
what does your apartment look like?
Okay, right now I'm like every New Yorker thinking, should I rent my apartment to migrant people, to Euro people, and like move to a tiny small storage space,
right? Or
move out of New York completely onto Gary Goldman's farm and create a new society there? But I don't know. I think like I'm old. I'm like too old for New York. That's what I think.
What do you mean?
Like I don't drink anymore and I don't party or anything. So it's really just like my big thrill is going to a Duane Reade at 5 a.m. Have you been there? You can get a flu shot from a guy who just stacked nuts and berries. He's a doctor now. Sorry, too much energy?
And a Slim Jim.
And wait, now he's taking my passport picture. Now he works for the government somehow. This guy's great. He makes $8 a day. No, what do you? I don't know. I feel like I'm too old for New York.
You just run it. It's
I know what you mean.
I know what you mean. Your Quincy
I should live
years.
on a boat near places. I should never live in places anymore. These are my Quincy years. That's a legitimate laugh, by the way. I know Tom when he fakes laugh. He's not fake laughing me.
I am.
Monica has no idea what's going on, but the LA Times woman who will not give her name. That's so one-sided. So let's talk about this Take Back Wall Street. What do you think?
It's pretty funny.
You think it's funny?
Yeah.
Take the monocle out when you laugh at that billionaire.
I was walking with my kids down to. I really feel like what must have happened like when people were demonstrating in the 60s, and it's like, well, wasn't everybody demonstrating? And it was like, no, it wasn't everybody. And I realize now I have a wife, I've got kids, and we're going to the park. We're going to Washington Square Park on Sunday. We're walking, and it's just packed with people protesting. And we want to get to the slide. We don't care about the protest.
I know.
I'm just like, I want to get to the slide. I want these kids to have a good time and get the hell out of here. And my daughter said to me, so what is this all about? I said, well, there's a real economic disparity with really rich people and really poor people. And she said, what does that mean? And I said to her, I'm going to use this on stage. I said, that means we've got to get really rich really quick and get the winning team, or you're going to be playing hacky sack for the rest of your life in Washington Square Park.
Well, I thought what was going to happen was like you have two children. One of them would run into the Take Back Wall Street and be raised by these feral, wild anarchists, and the other one would grow up as being a TV executive, and then they would meet one day, like somewhere like on YouTube or something. But they would meet one day, like one of them knows the dumpster diving, and of course how to fight a hobo for crack. New York is for definitely, I feel for these younger people because it's an expensive town.
Expensive.
And it's such a driven, everyone is so driven here.
Yeah,
like, you know how like you've been out to LA, right?
Yes.
And like everybody out there likes to play like they don't care, but they're like desperately, caring all the time.
Yes, right, exactly.
But they're like, but here like people like are more sincere. They really want to do something, like whether it's like, get the fuck out of my way, or, I want to eventually run my own, baby clothing factory in Williamsburg. They want to do something. And, that's cool. That energy is cool. But then there's all the social media bullshit that seems to go on.
Right, that's coming in now.
I don't like it.
But you're
a good yeser to me.
You never really spent time in L.A., right? You didn't really.
Yes, I did.
You did?
I spent a lot of great weeks out there. I was a writer on the Ray Romano show.
Oh.
Everyone Loves Raymond. Do you remember that?
I remember that. I remember seeing the video. I started working as a comedian at the comic strip, and they would do these holiday videos, and people would send in videos, and they'd have a Christmas party and show the videos. And Ray Romano's did one, and I was like, oh, this is the coolest. Like, he was at this club, and now he's out and making a TV show.
Right?
And then in the middle of it, you ride by on a bicycle. You were in the studio, and you rode by on a bicycle. It's like, wow, this is the coolest. Maybe I can end up on a bicycle in LA someday.
That must have been when I was only up to a pack and a half a day, because I couldn't do that kind of movement now. But what I was going to say is that Ray, if we were bringing up comics, Ray Romano is the one guy who was a super nice guy before he was famous. Yeah. A great, nice guy, while he was famous, helped everybody out. Mike Royce, who I started comedy with. Oh, yeah. Who was now an executive producer, on shows, and just super funny, talented guy. Helped everybody out, and then is still to this day a great, unassuming dude. Well, you haven't seen him recently. I haven't. He's can't really get in touch with him. He changed his number. Man, is he a prick. But you're the second guy that I would say that, like, from like the beginning, you were always, super nice, straight ahead, and then now that you are, would you have consider a satellite show? No, you're famous now. No, I don't. I'm not famous. You don't think so? No, I don't think so. What would I translate? What's your idea of fame? My idea of fame is when I walk into a comedy club, the writer tells you her name, having the guy at the front not ask me how many are in my party. Wow. You know what I mean? That's not fame. That's called having a personality, Tom. There's no kind of show that can help you with that. No, I think the fame is really, for us, it's equated directly to ticket sales. That's when true. When I don't have to do radio to try and get at least some of the shows sold out on a weekend, I'll think I've made it. Yeah. Right? Well, I assume that you were making it because, you have a show on network television, and everybody's been taught that, like, once you hit the network, that's when it really starts with the audience. But we all know it's like people don't have money right now. It's the economy. And then also, like, a lot of these people don't want to go out. They like, In a show like that one, it's not really a comedy club audience. I have to kind of educate them and get them to kind of come out. It's definitely helped. It's definitely helped and pushed me along, but it's not as big as I'd like. Well, would you like to do movies, you think? I don't know. I don't know. Like, if I offered you a movie right now,
I would do it.
But what if the title was "Blow Me, Tom, Blow Me"?
Who's the guy saying that?
Me. It's a small Matt Damon, Matt whatever film.
Takes place in a Dwayne Reed.
It takes place in a Dwayne Reed aisle 3. Just
I would do
head
it.
to sad. Hang a right. Whose joke is that? It's probably Natterman's another great.
Natterman's great.
I don't know if he knows this, but I think he's one of the best and original joke writers and funny guys out there. But in terms of eye contact, he's never looked in my eyes. So I don't know if he's a real person.
He's really, I know, but he's really great.
He is good. And
really
there are
great.
still like New York is the place to develop for comedy wise.
Well, that's
people
why
from LA who are shrugging this.
Yeah.
New York, why not go out to LA?
Yeah, and be
right?
a movie star. Well, that's actually what I'm going through. And that's why I'm asking you because.
So you're gonna move out there?
No, I mean I have a house there. I was out there.
Wait a minute.
I was out there for 6 years doing stuff and movies and things, and
you never told me you had a house out there.
yeah, in Studio City, and yeah, right,
that's really hedging your bets. I'm gonna need to be really close to all the movies that I'll be doing. Cut to you doing that walk. What is that? That walk? That crazy walkway of the walk where they have like all the Hooters and everything.
What?
Oh,
Universal City Walk.
Yeah. It's like
right.
you're up and down that, handing out flyers to the
right.
Wax Museum, and that's another part of time.
But
yeah,
I do kind of have. I am going through a moment right now of I'm back in New York where I started stand up, and I'm writing again like so much more than when I was in LA and doing the clubs, and it's like, well, if my whole life is stand up and I want to be a great stand up, I shouldn't be going back to LA just to kind of audition once in a while.
No, I
should
think
be
you should go to LA
here.
Though.
Why?
Because I think that like I said, I think the crowds are kind of the same everywhere now. Everybody's pretty politically correct. The cool thing about New York, and I think what the New York guys have over the New York comics have over the LA comics is just that like the logistics of getting around to clubs. There's so many more clubs here and so many places to bomb and fail and get better.
Yeah.
And I've just seen like people blow up, not just in terms of their career, but just like becoming really good, solid, great comics like Amy Schumer and Anthony Jeselnik, just amazingly funny people.
That doesn't happen if you're not in New York.
Well, I don't know. I think it really just depends on the people, but I think that the more stage time you get, that it helps. Because I was like a horrible performer and a horrible joke writer. And like I just did it every night for a couple of times a night, and then, like after a while it just became that's all I knew, and now it's like bombing is just like a wet towel on the ass coming out of the shower. So, but I think you should move to LA. You got little kids, right? Don't you?
I do got kids, and they like it out there. My little one looks at me in New York. Well, the older one was born here and loves New York. And the other one who was born in L.A. looks at us in New York like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, he wants out.
Like, isn't there a place? Don't we have that place with grass and sunshine?
See, I'm going to make the lateral move, and by that I mean south. I'm going either south down to like a Bogota, Colombia. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm going to get out of this. Like, I don't want to be any. I just want to like. I got to take care of my mom. All right.
Right.
She birthed me. I owe it to her.
Right.
After that's done, I'm like my own guy again. I'm going deep web, undercover. Fuck you, Tom, and your fucking movie, fantasy, whatever. Say hi to Gary Valentine when you get there, because I'm not going to be famous, and you guys are going to be these famous guys. And no, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, just like I'm not putting Gary down. I'm just saying, like, there's like a lot of guys I know who live in LA who are like, I'm like, I see them and then I don't see them and then I see them again, and I'm like, it must be so hard being out there all the time doing nothing.
Doing nothing.
And then they are doing stuff, but they're always working a deal.
I know, it's constantly meetings and doing all this stuff, and to be a great comic like yourself, I'm
not a great comic.
You are a great comic.
No, so I think that you should go out there. That's the whole thing. Everybody's like, we better get out there now while we're young. I always say that I used to say that to the younger comics.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, you should get out there just to get out there because, whatever. And then now I say to my friends, I go, you're really old now. They probably need old part people.
Right.
Like, I'm really just trying to get everyone I know to move out there.
Get out there.
Get at it.
Why don't you go? Why won't you go?
I think I want to go out there too.
You do?
Yes, I really do.
Really?
And, I'll take my house down through the Erie Canal. I mean, the Panama Canal, and go to, well, like, I don't know, like my friends go, you should live outside of LA, which I think is ridiculous because it's all that traffic.
Yeah, that's not smart.
I would live in LA,
right?
Like in the city.
Yeah,
you know, like the city that they would show explode and blow up in all those video games.
Right.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that part.
Like in the downtown LA, and that's when you know you've made it. You'll agree with me on this completely right now. When you go, your manager goes, I got a meeting for you. And it's never them coming to you. It's you going to them. It's like, are you ready? Okay, get in your car. Start driving to Sacramento, California.
Right.
It's like, this guy is a deranged lunatic director, but he loves you.
Right.
He just wants to sit with you and drink coffee and talk about projects that'll never happen. But you don't mind spending 9 hours in a car.
No, it sounds great. I moved here.
Like,
Might as well do it.
Maybe this is the thing that I should do since I didn't do the other thing. Oh, it sucks.
Do you
Monica,
think that
don't go into this business.
Do you think
please.
that we get psychotic because came up in New York and did all those spots, and we just in that rhythm of working during the day and then going out and doing your spots at night? Do you think that we're just sick and can't get out of here?
I don't know. I feel like you're a complete person. You have a family and a career, and yet you're not happy. You're like a woman on television. You're a lawyer, and you're raising your child. No, I feel like...
Well, no one's happy.
Yeah, no one's ever satisfied in this country, of course. I mean, come on. Look at all these people with all this free time. Now they want jobs.
Right, exactly.
Now they can get to all that hobbying they wanted to do. But no, I think that there's definitely an age to be in New York.
I could not picture you. I could, like, you, Colin Quinn. Like, if you guys were to leave New York, it would not make sense. My life would not make sense any longer.
Yeah, I never know where, because Colin, if you talk about influences, like, that guy's influenced a million comics. And I myself, learned pretty much everything from him. And Alan Havey, too. Like, a lot of people don't bring him up, but I think he's one of the greatest comics.
So great.
And, like, when I first was going to NYU, and we would just go to the Comedy Cellar to watch, and we would just watch. We wouldn't kick it. We wouldn't kick it in the hallway, clowning and talking and whatnot with the MC.
And texting.
This is a white rage. Texting and twittering and, clapping and laughing. We would just sit there like little scared Jewish mice. Just in the back, looking at our heroes.
Really?
Lay down the dirt.
How long did you do that before you did stand-up?
Well, I've been doing it 26 years in January, but I'd say for like that year before, I was definitely into comedy.
Right.
I would come down and like look at the show, but I did not have the courage to go on.
Really?
First place I went on was at Governor's, where like Kevin James and I brought up Gary Valentine.
Yeah.
We all came out of that scene, of the Long Island scene. And then I did all the open mics. I don't know where you started. You started with like Jim Gaffigan and Geraldo.
And Geraldo, yeah.
Right.
New York Comedy Club and Stand Up New York.
Right.
Stand Up New York, I would do a lot of.
Yeah, and Stand Up New York.
Bringer shows and all that.
Did you have to actually bring your own people at that point?
Yeah.
See, I'm lucky I was in that before. But like that was just starting.
Yeah.
But I was at the end of the first comedy boom. I worked the door with Kevin Brennan and Reggie McFadden. And we saw like the end of the boom of the 80s comedy.
Oh, really?
It was like Vietnam, and I'm not offending anyone now. Vietnam, helicopters are and like you could see like all the road comics with their puppets and guitars trying to get out back into their brother-in-law's real estate business, or one day maybe I'll be on a reality show.
That happened.
That was none of that.
That happened to me at the Comedy Magic Club, where this comic who was pretty well known, and then he started asking me where I was living, and I said, I'm in Studio City. He's like, what kind of house? I'm like, it's a 3-bedroom. He's like, really? And about how many square feet? And I was like, what is he doing? And then he handed me his real estate card at the end of the night. And I was like, oh no, how do I not make this happen to me?
Do you remember that when people used to hand you their card? Like
a comedy business card.
Magician. How many skills can this? I hope that's probably someone else. I think it's Mike's joke. Mike V's.
Mike V.
But anyway, how many skills can one man have? That's amazing. And he still needs cab fare. But
so you saw the end of the comedy.
Yeah, it was a horrible end too.
Yeah.
And then it became very splintered into the alternative,
right?
And whatever. And then it became splintered again into the urban Def Jam, and of course whatever. And now I think it's all back to just
just a big mush.
Yeah, if you're on TV or if you're not on TV, and Twitter followership.
Right.
Did you know, young Monica, that if you reach 1 million followers on Twitter, you'll meet all your dead relatives in heaven?
I didn't know that.
It's true.
Oh, I have a new goal.
Tom, thanks for having me. I mean, I don't know how long your show. How long does it
You
usually
want to
go?
get out of here?
I mean, I eventually have to smoke a cigarette at some point.
Yeah, I understand.
I can come back up. But what do you want to do?
No. Let's wrap it up.
Well, let's do one quick thing. What's your favorite joke of what's your favorite joke you've heard now, or your favorite joke ever? This could be like a running bit on your show if you had a producer.
Yeah.
What's your favorite joke? It doesn't have to be your joke.
I was in my apartment playing my favorite game, Find the Smell.
That was my joke.
That's your
joke. Which I've seen on 3 TV shows and 2 cartoons.
Have you really?
Yeah.
From other people?
Yeah. It's
no.
Well, yeah, but it's like a pretty easy joke. I mean, I always give it up to it's kind of easy, and I already have it on CD.
That's ridiculous. Really? You saw it that many times?
Yeah, no, it's easy.
That's like
it's
classic
cartoonable.
Attell.
It's cartoonable. But no, I was going to say what's your favorite of all comics, from Mark Twain to Mark Maron?
Rochester.
From Marcus Twain to Mark Maron.
Did you like any old stuff? Like really old stuff? Like
I enjoy a good slave joke now and again. Do I like any old stuff? I love a good old Mississippi riverboat gambling.
No, I mean,
I don't mind throwing some words around. Colored, I'll say it. Heck now. But no, I don't know. Like I'm trying to think of my favorite of all jokes, but Geraldo's jokes were great. I wish every time I think of his stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, he was such an amazing joke writer.
I know.
And then of course, I drank and partied with him, but he took it a little too far, as we both know. But he never disappointed on stage because
he was amazing.
He was just always had new stuff, and by that I mean he really loved the joke writing process. And Jesse Joyce, who opened for him for years, is also another great joke writer. So, there's so many good joke writers out there.
There are really good ones.
It's just the fun thing to do is to watch a late night talk show and think what joke could I top the joke,
Yeah.
But now who stays up that late? I'm an old man.
On your houseboat.
On my houseboat. I'm up with the tide,
Well, Dave, I know you like to say that you're not very good and that you have no fans and that you shouldn't live in New York, but I think all of those things are wrong, and I also think that you and Monica, this isn't the end, but maybe just the beginning.
No, I would go with Norton because you know what, he definitely is more exciting. I'm a dullard. off the mic, I'm a dullard. But Tom, I gotta say, no one's more. A lot of comics always are like, why this person is making it, whatever. It's way overdue for you, and I hope this is just the beginning of many great shows and experiences, because you truly are a good guy who steps up for his family and his friends. And by that I mean the Geraldo benefit, you were right on top of it, and I respect that more than anything when a guy stands up for a fallen brother.
Well, yes.
but I'll say this is just I hope that you totally take it to wherever you want and don't freak out and become a total douchebag, like you said. And
I'm trying not to, but I don't know. I might.
You think so?
No,
if you're gonna flip out, what would your flip out be?
My flip out? I don't know.
Do you think you would drug it, or would you go the other way? I don't eat anything that begins with celery. Would you be like the other guy?
Yeah.
No coffee. Can't never sit down. Sitting down causes cancer. That guy.
Yeah, I could see that part. Yeah, that part probably more than anything. But I mean, in all honesty, that is very nice of you to say those things. But when I first showed up here, and you were the senior when I was a freshman.
Yes, and respected.
and then through all these years that we can hang out and be pals is the coolest thing.
And a statement on how low I've gotten in comedy. I'm hanging out with these young trash.
Well,
but
thanks,
no, dude, thank you, man. And I
appreciate it.
I know that you do this for the love of comedy, and for all the real comedy fans listening out there. What's the name of the show?
Come to Papa.
Come to Papa, and the Comedy Channel.
Raw Dog.
Raw Dog is the place to be, and we love you, and we appreciate you guys for digging what we do. And also a shout out to Jim Brewer and his dad.
Yeah.
Let's hope all good things.
Does okay.
And Jim, we miss you. I toured with him recently. Super funny. Always a good guy too.
Always a great guy.
So
all right, man.
brother.
You're the best. Thanks for coming.
It's not working
I've
like
had
it does at
2
home.
minutes. Where's the bar?
Yeah.
Where's the bar?
I want to rate it and get out.
It's really lame.
Oh,
but do you think that that's the only part that's or do you think it's also
well,
political correctness is kind of
yeah, that sucks too. It's very politically correct. I was just saying this today on another interview because I'm doing a show about porn and
yes.
Everybody's like, porn, boo, watch out.
Right.
And what it is retro porn from the golden age of porn. And I bring out some great comics who you and I both know.
Right.
Whitney Cummings, Chelsea Handler, Jim Norton, Bill Burr,
right.
Adam Carolla, Greg Fitzsimmons, just really funny people. And we kind of roll and rant unscripted on the clips. And then we bring out the legends of the porn. So everybody I'm talking to, they're like, well, is this a statement on, porn? I'm like, no, it's kind of cool to watch this old, hairy, dirty retro porn with the people who made it. Right. I'm not trying to this isn't James Lipton and this isn't, I'm not Dr. Oz trying to show you can love your mate if you don't shave. I mean, it's just a simple, cheap show on Showtime this Thursday, 11:30. But the crowd's grown now at the setup. You can go
right.
So I'm walking, I'm walking past this playground. Boo! I didn't even get to the part with the children.
Right. I remember when we were doing,
they boo. They don't even boo. They're like, whatever that yawn.
I remember I've seen you get on the crowd for groaning at the part that you're not even at the worst part of the joke.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that is kind of a phenomena.
That's true.
That people come to New York, young comics come to New York, and there's, for a while there were a lot of people doing Hedberg, and there was always these little camps. There's people that are doing Mitch Hedberg or people that are doing Dave Attell. Do you notice it? We all notice it.
I can't say, first, are we allowed to use risque language? Okay.
Whatever.
I could really give a shit at this point. I mean, the fact that I'm just able to get on the stage and do new material is really what it's about for me. And you brought it up, when you come up with a new chunk, that's what it's about. If people sound like other people, that's, we all know that never really works. Nobody goes, hey, I'm looking for a guy who sounds just like Seinfeld. They don't say that.
Right.
I mean, they, originality is what plays, and thank you for that delicious latte.
I think it's a compliment. I don't think the people are actually. I don't think the young guys are trying to even take anything from you. I just think that you're just people see you coming up with new stuff, and you're making everybody laugh. You're making the staff laugh, and you're making the comedians laugh, and it freaks people out. It's like,
not the crowd,
I'm not
though.
That good.
Not the crowd. I gave up on the crowd probably about 3 years ago. Now it's just going for the staff. The security guy you want him always to think you're funny.
That really is true.
It's true.
It really is.
If he's smiling, then you're like, he might save me in a really horrible situation that could happen here. But the staff, if you can get a staff at a comedy club to laugh, like the waiters and waitresses, the bar guys,
right,
then you really are doing it right, because they've heard every joke. Probably in that one night they've heard 9 million flying jokes or Bin Laden jokes or whatever.
Right.
When is this air?
Yeah.
Obama,
2013.
Herman Cain, whatever.
Yeah, it's definitely. There's so many guys that get up and start going down the same route. Do you watch guys at all, or do you just show up and do your thing?
The guys that I like to watch are, of course, joke writers. You're always a strong joke writer, so I always like to, I like a guy who can deliver a joke, and you, of course, deliver what we call network-friendly material, and also, some dirtier ditties, if you will. But, writing a clean, good, hard joke is very difficult, and then performing it after 11 o'clock at night, after people just watch 9 high energy acts, spew filth all over the stage, is really an accomplishment. So I always like to watch you, like Nick Griffin, and then of course the younger guys like a Jay Okerson or Kurt Metzger, Mike Vecchione. I enjoy their
hilarious
spirits. They're a good bunch of lads.
Do you notice that the crowds have been changing lately? Honestly, do you feel that?
You heard it. I think that they're so, like young Monica over here. Look at her. She's bored to tears. Because you know what? That generation,
excited.
I don't blame them. There's so many options. She wants to get on her app and communicate with her friends on Skype and other things. Cyberbullying. Don't do it. But it's really hard to keep their attention. Do you ever notice that you look out in the crowd and you see people in their eyes almost going like, okay, how do I click out of this guy? There's got to be something funnier, wackier to watch.
Right.
But my eyes aren't clicking.
Like you just wasted your groan.
We just got on the boxcar. We're not even near the death camp. This is the best part of the trip.
Right, exactly.
Well, what do you think? I mean, because you definitely you came up with the younger. I'm older than you in
right.
comedy years, and of course,
right.
in just dog years. I think I'm
yeah,
old. I'm
like,
46.
You were like the
like how old are you, Monica?
24.
See, like you would be like my third wife if I had made it in show business. Like when you get in your 50s, you got to have the girl who's in her 20s, and then she's like, "Oh, he's cool, but he needs a nap."
Yeah. He's got money,
Gene
but he
Simmons,
sleeps a lot.
All right, she doesn't want to be a part of it.
Would you be with a
her.
46-year-old guy? Just gonna bring him.
No,
with the
don't
mic.
bring me into it. I'm just saying,
No.
Yeah, see, there you go.
No.
Well, but
Exactly.
if you're napping, then I'll just go shopping or something.
Shopping. There you go. What a great term for cheating.
See, but I don't see a 46-year-old guy as being that old. It doesn't look that much different from a
I mean, that's
32-year-old.
It does
over
around the
20
ball sack.
That's 22 years older than me. 24 years older, right? How old am I?
Yeah, it's double you.
Yeah, double me.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of old.
Wow. 999. Simple math works.
And Jim Norton already asked me out to dinner, so you
He
might have
did?
to fight him for you.
No, I was just saying. It was an analogy, honey. Please. I'm into young boys.
Do you know what Jim Norton
Please.
means by dinner?
Well, that's what I made it very clear. I was like, I'll go eat with you, but then that's
But not
the
on you.
end. That's right.
But not on you. Not anything that comes out of you.
Yeah, there you go. Hooray for Monica.
I'm Tom Papa, and my guest today is my friend and your dependable A-list comedian, the one and only Dave Attell.
Sorry, Tom, I was on my phone.
It's okay.
What's up? How are
Dave is a nationally known comedian and possibly the most played comedian on this very station, and for good reason. He's an extremely prolific writer, which has made him a mainstay on television, including several HBO specials, Comedy Central specials, every other place that stand-up happens, from Letterman to Leno and all the Conans in between. He has also gained a national audience through his Comedy Central show, Insomniac. Young comedians show up in New York and either want to be Dave or be as good as Dave, and they all fail. He's an original, he's hysterical, he's funny. Dave, when you were our
Can I talk now?
no, hold on a sec. In 1 second.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Tom. I don't know the format.
No, this is good. You're doing well.
Okay.
This is the best one yet.
Go.
Dave, when you're on stage at the Cellar and you're working on a new bit and it clicks and you know that you have a new chunk and you feel all good about yourself, how often do you think I need to thank Tom when I get off stage?
Well, I'm not going to say you're there, but you're always in the room, like a spirit, like a force, sometimes like a smell, but you're there.
It's good to see you, Dave.
Nice seeing you, and thank you for the accolades.
Yeah, well, I mean that. There's
There's nothing more boring than reading credits as the guy is sitting right there.
I know, but I kind of like it because when you do it with comedians, everybody talks during the intro,
That's true.
and it makes
See, if we were figure skaters, we'd be more honored. But.
right, exactly. But that